Hello, everybody. Okay. I had a small technical difficulty. It seems like a lot of places are starting to change their requirements for going live. So I'm going to have to look into that. Maybe I'll do a live just about that. But until then, here I am. I'm only 2 minutes late, so it's okay. Well, technically, I was early, but y'all didn't know that because I wasn't actually live, but I was right here, ready to start going and talking to everybody. Well, so tonight we are going to go into Comey dot, I think that's how you say it, IO. I was going to go into a different topic today. It was going to be more mental health related. But like I talked about last live, I kind of decided to go back to this because I kind of wanted to talk about it anyways. And admittedly, I'm on the free trial and it ends after a certain amount of time. So I kind of need to tell everybody about it. Just go into it and make this official. All right. So let's get started. I just want to make sure I have everything where I need it to be. So we've got all the chats saying hello to everybody. Good to see ya. And I have, let me just make sure also, I have my presentation, but I will be going to Comey AI so that, we can actually see what it looks like inside there. So let's get started. So hello, incredible creators and innovators. Welcome to the GBRLIFE Live, where we explore tools and techniques that empower your digital life, among many other things. But I'm Caitlin, and today we're diving into a tool that's reshaping how influencers, entrepreneurs, and content creators manage their online presence, Comey.io. And what really brought me to this is that I saw a lot of influencers were using a new tool, and I was kind of like, okay, what is this? It's a new link in bio tool. So I was very interested in what was going on. And now there is one other one that I actually did go through. There's also Beacons AI. So I will say that if you're interested in a new link in bio tool, I would look into this one, but I would also look into Beacons AI because that's another one that a lot of influencers are actually using. And I can see why. I'm not going to say that I don't understand that, but anybody who's watching is going to find out about Comey and exactly why they're using that today. So, because when it comes to social media, your online presence is basically your digital handshake. It's how you introduce yourself and connect with your audience. But, it's a link in bio tool. So especially if you do multiple things, you do want to have a place to manage multiple links, promotions, platforms. And frankly, all of that is overwhelming. I know for me it is most of the time, but I think actually more often than not, I'm a little more overwhelmed by the fact that I want to try all the tools and I'm always looking for the best one. I also want to mention I'm not affiliated with Comey. So if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's fine too. As a matter of fact, I'd love to know why you don't like it so I don't use it, because I'm on a free trial currently. But why are all the influencers turning to Comey? Well, because it's more than just a link repository. And that is one thing I am noticing. All these link in bio tools are starting to change into something bigger, better, because they kind of have to. I mean, there's so many out there. So what is going to make it different to use this one versus all the other ones? Well, this one is customizable, user-friendly, and it organizes your links, but it also enhances your audience interaction. I think that's one of the biggest things, that it's a little different there. It brings, if you have an audience, them to you for you to be able to work and work with them, or talk to them, however you want to do it or say that. But the thing is that Comey AI isn't just about organizing links, it's about maximizing your engagement. So there's features like link tracking, advanced analytics. It doesn't just store your links, it transforms it into a dynamic hub of interaction that reflects your brand and drives your engagement, which is one thing I do see missing in a lot of these other tools, is that you're actually not able to customize it as much to be more about you and less about them. And I think that Comey does that, but I will also say, admittedly, also because I really love Beacons AI right now. So I also think that Beacons does that as well. So again, I would check that one out as well. And I do want this session to be interactive. So if you want to say anything, please let me know. If you're using it, I would love to know. And again, I'm not getting paid by Comey. So that being said, if you have an opinion, I want to know about it. And I'm sure everybody else does too. But now it's time to kind of see Comey. I don't know if that's actually how you say it. So this is Comey. This is the actual website. What you're going to see when you actually go to create it for yourself. It has the basics right on the website: home, products, categories, pricing, logging in, and then the free trial. Now, the free trial that I'm on, it says it's 14 days. I think that's kind of nice to have a 14-day trial versus 7 days, because I will say that having a little bit longer, if you're putting your link out there, you're going to get a better idea. So that's a plus for it. You're going to get a better idea. And you can see right on the bottom there, and I didn't know this when I went to go look at it, the amount of influencers that are actually using it. I saw 1 or 2 influencers and I thought, oh, let me go look into this. And when I went to the actual website, I was like, wow, a lot more people are using this than I thought. And let me show you why. Now, if you're using Linktree, I do think that's a great place as well. They have changed a lot from what they're doing. But I will say that from the get-go, it actually is a little bit more. So this is inside now. So this was the front page, and this is inside of Comey IO. They do have it. It looks a little bit more. I'm trying to find the right word. Just nicer, I guess. It just seems a little more put together. They look more professional. That's the word. It looks more professional right off the bat. And that being said, though, it does seem to be a little bit more difficult to use right off the bat. So when you're using Linktree or something like Beacons AI, that clearly I'm obsessed with, I feel like because it's a little more of a blank slate when you first start using it, it's actually easier to set up. So I'm going to kind of say that Comey.io is very easy to set up, but it's also not. As weird as that sounds, because they automatically have these things. I purposely did not remove this because this is what it actually came up with right when I created the account. I didn't put every little thing on here. I did, of course, add my website because I wanted to check out adding a new link, but it automatically had these YouTube videos. It automatically had these podcast episodes and these products listed, which is nice because they give you a template to start, and I do like that. But on the other hand, it does make it where you're immediately thinking, I have to clean this up before you get a chance to post it. So that I did not like, but I do like that they kind of show you what it can do to begin with as well. So over here, this is the preview of it. And one thing I do like too is that it kind of gives you like right up top these tabs. Again, a little bit different from other platforms because at the end of the day, when you're using other platforms, they don't give you this option to kind of directly go to where you may want to check out immediately versus having to scroll through it. Why does that make a difference? Well, think about something like YouTube using chapters. The chapters are created so that somebody can quickly go to where they want to search within that video. And I find that this link in bio tool was a little bit on the smarter side to create those modules right up top to make that actually happen. Now, you can see also as I'm scrolling a bit, it shows all of the different modules that are on here that you can immediately select. And you can change any of the things that you're doing by simply clicking on add a new link, add a new video, and it isn't that complicated to just go in and select, delete the 3 lines. And most of us know, select the 3 lines and you're going to get your menu from there. Again, I just don't like the fact that you have to clean it up from the second you get on here. But on the other hand, you may not have known about all of the different tools that it actually offers if you didn't already have these templates set up. Now, the other thing that it has, of course, this is a link in bio, so you can go and customize your link in bio exactly how you'd like it, down to the, the background and all of that stuff, which I believe if I press no, it's not add content, but you know what? Since I'm over here, it shows external links, media gallery, music, podcast, YouTube, YouTube Shorts. That's really cool too. Kind of the basics from there, data capture form. And the other thing is most of the time when they have data capture forms, you can use MailChimp if you're using that for an integration. I do have a video on that. And one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of MailChimp is because, frankly, they're everywhere and you can use it pretty much anywhere. I won't be changing my MailChimp because of that. But you can change the background as you can most of these. Oh, here it is. So you have your header, so you can replace that. And that's what I have over here. And you can also just make it a logo instead, or a text, which, okay, very basic. But then there's the theme. So you can change your color, light or dark. I mean, again, this is very basic. And then your social links. Now, I'm on the free trial, but for 14 days. I don't know if it changes the amount of social profile links that you can add, but I have a feeling that really is the minimum. The maximum would be 7 social profile links. When I click on that, there are a lot to add. So if you're into a lot of different things, that could be not so great of a factor. Maybe there's an opportunity to ask for more, but at least they do have a lot of options. Also, I mean, I do think it's a good thing to have more options than it is to have less options when it comes to your social links, because there are so many, including having a custom website. And you can see that I actually added a custom website right here. Next up, which is also really nice, is your data and analytics. Now, I do not have this anywhere. I did not post this anywhere, so I have absolutely no analytics to show, but I do always love analytics because it does tell you exactly what is going on with your stuff, because that's kind of the whole point of a link in bio tool. You want to see where people are going, what they're interested in, and why. And then going back to the profile builder content, what also captured my eye is the products. Now, I didn't like this at first, but I realized there is a serious benefit when you are being able to add a product URL versus having to add in your entire Shopify or Etsy store instead. In the beginning, I thought I would like to just integrate that only, but I realized that being able to use a product URL really helps you integrate and control your products better than you would in any other way. And reason I'm saying this is because when, for example, say you were an associate of, it really doesn't matter where you're an associate of, but these days there's the affiliations. Speaking of that, again, I have no affiliation to Comey, but the affiliation usually gives you all those links. And you want to be able to use the product URL with the link that you're going to actually benefit from. And oftentimes, unless you have a website created, you're not getting the benefit of it, or it can be a little more difficult to add those URLs to get the benefit of it on something like a link in bio. I do find that there's a little bit of that issue with link in bio, for example, Linktree, for example, versus something like this. And I think this is one of the reasons why the influencers prefer this versus a lot of the other options. It's because at the end of the day, they have the opportunity to add in their products and still get paid for it directly. And then the other thing I really liked is this. Okay, so when I go over here, this little option, I think it might be easier if I show you. I say this to everybody as well. If you ever see anything like this, always, always, always make sure that if you use a tool that has the ability to see what your content is going to look like in a computer, in a tablet, or in mobile, always check all of them, because that way you can see whether or not it actually looks good. But that being said, so you can see just a little bit better of what this link in bio would look like to your customers or to your audience. This is even what it would look like on the phone. Again, this is like right here, the modules that are really nice, because the tabs, because you can go directly to it. That's nice. It's like a chapter for YouTube, but it's a link in bio tool. So that alone makes this tool different. The other option is this right here. So I've seen other link in bio tools do this, where they have the carousel or the, I forgot what this is, the grid option. But I actually feel like for some reason they made this grid really easy to navigate in a way that your audience or your customers are more likely going to enjoy and find your products. That's the other issue with a lot of these tools, is that they can be very cumbersome, very just full of so much stuff. And so you think to yourself, well, how are my customers or audience going to find the things I really want them to find? And more often than not, we end up having to put it on the very top of the page. But with this, they make it easy where you have the module, but also when you go to the actual section, it's not so much chaos in your face. You really can find it easier than other places. Plus, they offer the privacy policy, which is nice as well, because that is almost always required. So if you don't have a website, and this is kind of what you're using, the link in bio tools, boom, you've got your privacy policy, because those are required in most circumstances where you're selling products. So again, a little bit different from other software. I do have my notes in front of me, like I always say. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything else that it can do. Drinking some water at the same time. Yeah, adding media. Let's go over to adding some media. So adding a video, it's just your YouTube URL. That's pretty simple. New podcast, add a service. They have most of the platforms available, so you can just add those directly. I try not to say too many of these names over lives, because especially since I'm streaming in multiple platforms, more often than not, they get very upset about naming the other places. And if I just start naming them, they're going to go, no. But these are all the different, you can see it on the screen. These are all the different platforms. Just click, or like highlighting them, that they offer, which is pretty much every major podcast platform that there is an option to use. So I don't really see where anybody would have an issue. And remember, if you don't have your podcast in one of these platforms, it's pretty easy to add those over. You just use a podcast hosting. Mentioning that, there's a video that I did about that as well. So if you do need any information on that, go over to my YouTube. You will find a podcast hosting platform, or if you're watching this after my live, just go to that video. Podcast hosting platforms. There's many out there, but I did like a comparison to help you figure out which one would be best for you to get your podcast really everywhere. And I think it's actually my Podcasting 101 video. So it wasn't just a hosting platform, but I go into that. So it's good for you to know. And then for the products, again, it was just the link. Let me see what else over here. What else can I click on to show you guys? View data. There's nothing there because I didn't add anything. Oops. Let me log back in. You can see instead, while I'm doing this, Comey, what it looks like. The main page. Okay, here we go. All right. And then adding a link. Also special offers, which I think is also fantastic, because again, if you're kind of using this as your main website, this is just a little bit different from other platforms. You don't really see the ability to add discount codes or any offers at all in that way. Again, Linktree is trying to go down that road, but I don't really see them doing that very often in this way. And really what it boils down to is I think that Comey.io is a really fantastic way to showcase your work without directing your audience away from your links, because it's all really actually right there. And for those of you who are managing online stores, I did read that you are able to connect this to Shopify and Etsy. And I'm going to assume it's actually under, it's not under here. I couldn't find that. I did find also the Meta Pixel, but they do have that as an option. And I think one of the best ways to figure out exactly where that is would really be just asking or going through their help, and that's really it. But they do have that option to go through and add in your Etsy and Shopify page or those links directly, which is actually better. And I mean, think about it too. If you're using something like this and the holiday seasons start to come up, you can actually add all of those special promotions if you're selling products directly in your link in bio, which again, that's kind of a game changer because you're more likely to make a sale or at least have some sort of engagement, which is bringing your clients or your customers closer to a sale. And Comey.io is not just for individual creators. It's actually built for teams because you can manage access rights and allow team members to update links or track analytics. And there's basically a collaborative approach that would ensure that everyone is on the same page and can react quickly to new opportunities and required updates. And another aspect worth mentioning is the mobile optimization. Basically, what I kind of mentioned before, but to make it very clear, this is going to look good across any and all devices. They make it so. They made that part of what was their whole spiel, is to make it so that it looks good. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you realize that you're adding a YouTube video, for example, and when you go click on it in mobile, it comes out great. But when you go on the computer, it's a tiny little video that nobody can really see. Makes a big difference. And you want it to work across because you don't know how people are accessing your information. Although we should all be honest, most of it is coming from mobile these days, right? One thing that I did check on is the ability for the analytics to be archived, and they do that as well. So you would be able to use the analytics. I'll go back to it. Unfortunately, because I don't have this everywhere, you're not going to see it as much. Although they have a data export. So you can always add in some of your former analytics so that it can start picking up from there instead of directly when you start adding in the links, because that makes a difference. But that does make a difference again with archiving, because you can see from a year ago to today where you are and how your brand is growing. So this just depends on what you're actually using your link in bio for. It's I don't know, it's just a really good one. I like that it's so clean is really what it boils down to. I really like that it's so clean. And it just looks more professional than a lot of these others. So officially, Linktree and what is Solo 2, BioFM. And again, I have videos on all of these because I love me some link in bios. But they do have some competition because this one's a good one, and they already have all of the influencers. So, I mean, what else is there to say? So, we've taken a deep dive into Comey.io. You've now seen more than just the basics, a little bit of the advanced features. I am going to admit that it's not like it's the most advanced features that are complicated to use. It's pretty easy to use. But at the same time, I do think it's a good option. Oh, you know what? Before I go into all of that, I want to show you the pricing. Starter, $10.50 a month. Premium, $100 a month. Why is that $100 a month? Because remember, they are offering a ton, and including the fact that influencers are already using it. So when you see the premium, it says all benefits of starter, duh. Mini site designed by our expert team, which means that they make it more like a website. Quarterly reviews, campaign support, dedicated account manager. Makes sense. You're paying $100 a month. Year in review reports, advanced analytics and insights, and you can remove the Comey branding. That's not that big of a deal with the branding, I'm going to be honest. Most people just like to see what others are using. I was interested, and when I saw that, it really brought me over to them. And if you are paying $100 a month, in some ways, if you are partnering with them too, though, you might actually be able to gain some money off of that via commissions or affiliate marketing, essentially is what that is. I'm not doing that though. Like I keep saying. But for the starter, it's just the basics, Shopify integration, but they get a 3% integration, 3% commission, basic analytics, support team. But the support team means that you're going to be able to have access to their email. That's basically all that means. And collect follower contact. I'm reading it right in front of you. Connect all your content. So really it's just very, very basic stuff. But for $10.50 a month, that's not that bad to spend a month for a link in bio. And it does look pretty clean. Again, it does. I haven't seen something this clean looking in a while. It's professional. It looks professional. And even though I love Beacon's AI, I now need to go over there and make mine look more professional because now I see what it could be. And I'm kind of obsessed with these tabs. I think that's amazing. That's amazing. It brings you directly to the location. Yeah, you do have to scroll to go back to them, but if you're looking for something in particular, that's amazing. Just me? If you like it, let me know in the comments. Let me know in no matter when you see this. Let me know in the comments. Are you a fan of the tabs? Do you like that on a link in bio? Do you think that's just taking up space, or what do you think? What would you do with that? I'm so excited that I don't even know what to say. I just love it so much. I get very easily excited. Okay, going back over to key benefits. Really, it's just me saying, we got to see kind of every little aspect of it that you're going to get for the $10.50 a month. And I encourage all of you to actually look at it yourself because it has the 14-day trial. So no matter what you're using, if you're kind of interested in going to another platform for your link in bio, I don't see why not in just trying to use it and see if you like it, because you don't have to keep it. It's 14 days. It's 2 weeks to actually see if this is something that works for you. That's just my opinion, but I also love doing that in general because I'll change platforms depending on whether or not it's working for me better. And maybe I shouldn't do that. Or maybe I should, because that's how I give you guys more reviews and information about what tools and platforms are out there. But as you do begin your journey with Comey.io, I'd love to hear about your experiences if you do end up doing it. What worked for you? What challenges did you face? Share your stories and questions in the comments or reach out through social media channels. Your feedback not only helps you get the most out of this tool, but it also helps all of us learn and grow together. I love being able to hear. Plus, if you're using something else, let me know that too so I can review it and check it out and either talk about it on live or talk about it on GBRLIFE reviews, because reviews come out every single week. And thank you all for joining me tonight. That was really it. It's been a pleasure exploring Comey.io with you. And I have found this session as enlightening and exciting as you probably did. Maybe just me. But either way, if you enjoyed this view into the new tools that I like to include on my live streams and want to see more like it, follow me. And if you're watching this after the live happened on YouTube, please give this a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any upcoming content. And remember, I am live every Wednesday at 9:45 Central Standard Time across social media. And I decided to make it a little bit more involved so you can really see what GBRLIFE is. That right there, all of that, that's GBRLIFE. The GBRLIFE website, Mama Koala by GBRLIFE clothing, the podcast. I have the live stream, which is not a vlog, but it's the live stream that you'll see me every Wednesday at 9:45. But you'll also see the review vlog, the insights vlog, and the tutorials vlog, in addition to a blog Monday through Friday, 3 or 4 different categories in that. And then these are some of the clothing options. And you can find this entire presentation directly on GBRLIFE.com. So keep pushing the boundaries of what you can achieve digitally with tools like Comey.io and a bit of creativity. The possibilities are endless, so go forth. Optimize your digital presence. Engage your audience like never before. And as always, with all of my content on GBR Life and the comfy and stylish clothing for the entire family called Mama Koala, you don't have to be without GBR Life in your life. I will see you next week when we discuss... Let me go back up because I forgot to say that. The art of vlogging, tips for engaging content creation. Until next week.